family here today. It is my understanding that there might be at least one victim impact statement read today. I will defer to Elizabeth Kisner on that. Before they would speak, Your Honor, the state just wanted to briefly state Ms. Calich was gunned down on July 28th of 2024. She was gunned down in front of her toddler son, and feet away was her daughter. To say her death was senseless is an understatement. At the time of the shooting, Paige was at home with her son preparing a meal. She stepped out only briefly, was gunned down by Denzel Pope as his sister Corvette Pope watched. The state is asking for 5 years in prison for Corvette Pope.
Thank you. All right, on behalf of Ms. Calich's family.
Your Honor, the victim does not wish to be on video camera.
Okay, so I will inform the media then not to video her as she makes her statement. Come on up to the podium, yes ma'am. And then if you would just state your full name for the record, please.
My name is Pamela Murray, and I'm waiting on behalf of Jamie Calich, the sister of Paige Calich. Go ahead. There are no words strong enough to capture the pain that has been inflicted on our family. My name is Jamie Calich, and I'm the older sister of Paige Calich, who was tragically taken from us, shot and killed in her own home just one day after celebrating her 24th birthday. She was more than just a sister. She was a daughter, a mother, a friend, and a bright light in all of our lives. She was funny, smart, kind, and full of love. She had so many plans, so many dreams for herself, and especially for her 2 children. She never got the chance to see those dreams come to life. Instead, her life ended violently and senselessly, right in front of the 2 people she loved more than anything in the world, her babies. I cannot begin to explain what it's like to look into the eyes of a child who has just watched their mother die. They cry for her at night. They ask questions I will never have good enough answers for. They cling to me now, needing comfort and safety I pray every day I can somehow give them. I never planned to be a mother overnight, but now I am for them, because they deserve love and stability even in the shadow of unspeakable trauma. My sister should be here. She should be tucking her kids in at night. She should be laughing with them, teaching them, and protecting them. That was stolen from her, and it was stolen from them, and it was stolen from me too. This kind of pain does not end with the funeral. It follows us every day, every birthday, every holiday, every milestone in the children's lives, and they will be missing their mother, and I'll be missing my sister. Your Honor, I'm asking that you recognize the gravity of what's been done to our family. My sister's life mattered. Her children's trauma is real. My grief is permanent. The consequences of this crime extend far beyond one act. It has shattered an entire family. I carry this pain every day, but I also carry my sister's memory. I will raise her children with all the love she had given to them, and I will never stop wishing things could have been different.
Thank you very much.
That's all of the victim impact statements, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Kisner. Anything else on behalf of the state?
Your Honor, I believe one other person may want to speak as well on Paige Calich's behalf.
Hold on a second. Do you consent to be videotaped?
That's
Okay, come on up to the podium. Go ahead and tell me your full name, please.
Hello, my name is Jamira Tomlin.
Spell your last name, please.
T-O-M as in Mary, L-I-N as in Nancy.
Ms. Tomlin, go ahead, please.
I was one of Paige's really good friends. She was very caring, very strong. She was a ball of energy. She helped a lot of people. She cared about a lot of people. If you were one of her friends and you had children that was around, she'd treat your kids like hers. And the way that she got taken away from us, it wasn't right, it wasn't fair, and nobody deserved it. Her kids, her mom, her sister, nobody. She had a lot of people that was behind her and had her back, just like how she had our back. And it's just really not fair that she's not here to be with us anymore and can continue to be there with her kids and just keep making memories with us. And I just really hope that my friend gets justice for what was done to her and done to her kids. And I just want everyone to know that she was a very bright soul. She was a very great person to get to know.
Thank you very
And
much.
won't be able to see her no more.
Thank you very much. Ms. Mitchell, anyone else?
No, Your Honor, I don't believe so.
Anything else on behalf of the state?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Kotnick, on behalf of Ms. Pope?
Thanks, Judge. On behalf of Ms. Pope, she does acknowledge that it was a tragic, senseless loss, and she does apologize. She's always been remorseful that this happened, and she's going to tell you that herself as well. She is a mom too, and she has 2 little kids, and I know she's going to get the chance to see her kids, and Paige won't, and she understands that, and that eats away at her that this was a tragic, senseless loss, and she does take responsibility for her actions in this case. And that's what led her to testify in this case. So from our standpoint, we worked out a plea agreement, and she did agree to testify against her brother. And that's unique a lot in the courthouse situations. A lot of people don't testify against co-defendants or against their own family members. But she made that decision because she understood how what Denzel did was so wrong, and she still takes responsibility for her part in this role. But she understands how wrong his actions were that day, and she agreed to testify so that there would be justice for Paige at the end of the day. But we're going to ask the court to give her a different sentence than the state's asking. They asked for no more than 5 years. She's already been in jail for a year without her children, so we're going to ask for something lower than that. So we're going to ask for the court to give her credit for time served and impose probation, and then allow her to go back to Chicago to be with her children, understanding that decision is up to the judge completely. But we did want you all to know that she does understand the magnitude of this. She is sorry. She has a minimal record, and you all sat through trial, so I don't need to rehash the facts, but you heard the facts of the trial, and then you heard from Corvette. You know, she was not honest at first, but then she did come clean with the detective during her interview, and then agreed to testify. And because of her testimony, it's our position that Denzel would not have been convicted without her testimony. That's our position, and we're asking the court to consider that we think that he would not have been convicted. So given that, Judge, we're asking you for a lower sentence and ask for Corvette to be heard.
Ms. Pope?
I wanted to apologize for my actions the night of Paige's death, and I am truly sorry to her family and friends and her children for my actions, and also my brother's actions. And I hope one day that you guys could forgive us.
All right, thank you. Well, a couple things, I've reviewed the pre-sentence investigation as well as the written victim impact statements. I sat through the trial last week of Denzel Pope. I listened to the evidence, and what astonishes me more than anything is that over a physical fight, the death of someone resulted. And if this is how people in their 20s handle controversy, our society is doomed. Because that is not how we handle controversy. Furthermore, I love the way that you have somehow turned all of this as if you're the hero. I understand that the state has a responsibility to maybe make a deal with a bad actor in order to get the worst actor. Make a deal with the devil and get the devil's other half. But you are not innocent in this. I knew it from the time you testified. You minimized your behavior. Your friend Honesty took the stand. And she, by the way, I believe is the only one that told the truth that day. You aren't going over there to get an apology. Who goes to get the apology? The apology comes to you. You were going over there to beat up Paige, and that's why you had honesty in your brother with you as backup. So for you to sit there and claim all of these things, I was not born under a rock, neither was the jury, and they didn't believe that portion of your testimony. You had guns in your house. Your brother clearly came out of your house with that gun. You have children in that house, and you let him store a gun in that house. You knew he committed a robbery in February in Youngstown, was on bond, knew he was charged with weapons charges, wasn't allowed to have a weapon then, and still let him have weapons in your house. So you are not an innocent actor. You are not the savior of the state's case. I believe the evidence was strong enough they could have proceeded and convicted Denzel without your testimony. And you'd be looking at significantly longer time in prison. That being said, you are not deserving of community control. And therefore, based on the facts and circumstances of this case in consideration of the relevant sentencing factors, applying the minimum sanction the court has determined will protect the public and punish the offender without imposing an unnecessary burden on state or local resources, I'm imposing the following. On the amended charge of involuntary manslaughter, a felony of the first degree, I'm giving you an indefinite sentence of a minimum of 5 to a maximum of 7.5 years in the Ohio Department of Corrections. On count 7, obstructing justice, I'm giving you 36 months in the Ohio Department of Corrections. I'm running those 2 counts concurrent and not consecutive for a total indefinite sentence of 5 to 7.5 years in the Ohio Department of Corrections. I find that these charges clearly do not merge based on the evidence and the acts that happened during and after. Furthermore, I find that after serving your sentence, you will be facing 2 to 5 years of mandatory post-release control, which again is supervision by the Adult Parole Authority. Any violations of their rules could subject you to being returned to prison for up to half of your prison term for all violations of their rules and regulations. You'll be given credit for 378 days that you have served in the Summit County Jail. And while you may receive good time or earned credit, it is possible for you to earn good time credit of 5 to 15% against your minimum sentence for good behavior. I have the right to deny that good time credit, but before doing so, I must have a hearing in order to make that decision. Regardless of whether you receive good time credit, you will be released when you finish your minimum term unless the Ohio Department of Corrections determines that you must remain in prison for bad conduct. If you are not released when your minimum term ends, you will serve an additional specified period of time and be given a new release date. You will also be released on that date unless you are again denied release for bad behavior. This process could repeat until you are released or you finish your maximum term. I am not imposing any fines, but I will take judgment against you for the cost of this prosecution, and there will be a minimum of $5 a month paid to the Summit County Clerk of Courts from your commissary account every month, and it will not exceed $5. I hope you take the next 5 years or 4 years, whatever it is, to consider how you decide you want to raise your children when you get out of prison, because if you don't break the cycle, it's going to keep continuing. You'll be conveyed to the Ohio Department of Corrections at Marysville through the Ohio Department of Corrections, and you'll be housed there for the pendency of your sentence. Anything else on behalf of the state?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Kotnick?
No, thank you.
We're adjourned. Do you have the half sheet?
Yep, we're filming it, we're finishing up.